Welcome to Dubs Talk Live. I am Zena, Keita, joined by the authority on the Warriors, Monte, Poole.
Wow.
And the Warriors, they did something today.
Yeah.
They swept the Brooklyn Nets this season.
Right.
They're 2-0, took them down back in December, took them down today, and ended up with a pretty decent win, 109-98. We're going to break it all down today, but it wasn't a perfect game.
Oh,
but
the first half was
win.
really bad.
You know what? This is why he's the authority. You see the honesty already? Yes.
The first half was really bad. I mean,
yeah.
come on, 43
It was rough
points,
to watch.
43 points in the first half, and it was just 10 turnovers and giving them 15 points off turnovers in the first half. Second half, wow.
Different
They turned it up.
They turned it up.
Yeah.
They absolutely turned it up. One of the players that absolutely turned it up was the second highest scorer today, our BMW ultimate performer of the game, Jonathan. Come in and get a bucket, Kuminga. And that's exactly what he did. When you think about this game was very focused on athleticism and breaking people down, getting to the basket. I looked at Jonathan's shooting chart, and right there at the basket, that's all he did. He had two shots, not the 1-3. He had two shots that were beyond the arc. The inside arc.
The inside arc.
The inside arc,
Yeah,
folks.
he was a paint guy tonight.
He was a paint guy, and he was getting on top of people's heads. You had to remind him, folks, Jonathan, these people have families at home. Sir. It was surreal.
Yeah, JK with 28 and 10 rebounds.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you want him to be as productive on the defensive side, getting boards and getting down the court, and that's what he did.
Yeah, 10 rebounds, couple of blocks. He put his fingerprint on this game. And when the Warriors' defense was kind of Steph and nobody else, he kind of came in and did his thing. And so when you see JK do that, again, this isn't the first time he's done that, where he became the go-to guy for this team when it needed something. Nobody else made a three-pointer other than Steph tonight. You know, they were 4-22. Steph made all four. The rest of the team was 0 of 11. And JK didn't even try one.
Nope.
Good for him.
Not even an attempt. He didn't need to.
Good for him. Go inside where you can get your money. And that's what he did.
No one could stop him.
Yeah.
No one could stop him. There was plays I saw him coming down, getting the ball on the outlet from the rebound and going down, calling his play. I don't know what this means. I'm sure they're scouting it right now, but he was calling for his pick and roll and getting it. And it was really cool to see. Now, 28 points for him. The other savior on the Warriors side, Stephen Curry, with one more point than him, 29.
Yeah.
And like you said, the only Warrior to get a bucket today.
From three, yeah. You know, Steph, you kind of get used to it in some degree, but it just looks weird in the box score when you see that Steph was 4 of 11 from three, and his teammates were 0 of 11 from three. I mean, that rarely happens where nobody else gets even one three-pointer. You know, and unfortunately, I mean, Klay Thompson's three ball has just been disappearing lately.
Yeah, it has.
And he didn't get many minutes in the second half. And one of the reasons why is because they played better without him. They were better without Klay, and that second half was a big part of that at both ends, defense and offense. So I don't know. I mean, I think Klay has some soul searching to do, but when you watch the course of this game, we saw, I think the most important thing was that you saw defense in the second half that was like scrappy. It hustled.
Urgent.
I mean, you had guys out there. I mean, you know, BP does this all the time. That's the way he plays. But Guy Santos came in and played like he played 18 minutes tonight, 13 in the second half, I think it was. And he stayed on the floor.
Yes.
Which people were like surprised by that, but he was effective.
He was a difference maker.
Yeah, he was plus 13. BP said after the game that he's the reason why we won the game. That's a big statement, but you look at what he did. You know, he had 9 points. He had a couple of blocks, a steal, 5 rebounds. When you get a guy who came from the G League, basically, and he gives you that in the fourth quarter, in the second half of a game that's a tight game, you run with that every single time.
You appreciate someone coming up from the G League with that level of, I got to do anything. There's things that he did tonight that's not going to show up in the box score. Deflections, making rebounds harder to get, and anything you can do on one end slows down a team's transition.
Absolutely.
So definitely some difference making from Guy Santos. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, imagine a few years ago, you say, oh, the Golden State Warriors, only one player on that roster made a three. Is that a thing you could say about the Warriors?
No.
New
look
Warriors.
Yeah.
New look Warriors. But Steph's at the podium. We'll see what he had to say about today's game.
A boost of energy for sure, Guy, and talking about BP. No, for sure. It's just the opportunity has presented itself with, the injuries that we had, and obviously Wiggs being out tonight. There are a lot of minutes available, and they both stepped up, made a lot of hustle plays, gave us a lot of second chance opportunities. You just ask that they know they play hard, they bring energy, play with confidence. And good things happen for both of them tonight, and we needed every bit of it to close out a game. It was, I think, a 6-point game at one point. And the last 4 minutes was a beautiful brand of basketball, so it was good to see. He wants to shoot the ball better. I know he wants to be out there on the floor. Like, he's a champion. He's the guy that's been as much a part of all of our success as anybody. The challenge as we get deeper into our careers is, the adjustments that we all have to make to try to continue to win at the highest level. So the way this game works, there's ebbs and flows. There's, down periods in the season. There's times where it's your time to shine. You have to stay locked in, stay ready. I haven't talked to him specifically about it, but it's about just staying, positive, staying ready. He still played 30 minutes, and he made a lot of, timely plays for us. So just stay in it, because everything comes back around.
Right now, you take any solace or comfort and make almost like it happened before it happened.
I think we've talked about that opportunity, even like Boston a couple of years ago when they were like 500 for a long part of the season, and then they hit their stride. You can think about that, and you can allow that to be motivating. You still have to go out and perform. So it makes games like Atlanta like even more frustrating, because you're right on the doorstep of building true momentum in a season. And it's nice to respond like we did tonight. We have 2 more games on this road trip where we understand every game is important. There's a sense of urgency, and there is an opportunity for us to make something of this season and not just be talk. So it's nice to have some case studies to look at.
All right, I want to quickly touch on Klay, because he talked about the beautiful brand of basketball that Klay wasn't a part of.
Yeah, the beautiful brand of basketball in the last 4 minutes of the game, and Klay didn't finish the game tonight. And then Klay, he did address that, basically saying that Klay, is in a place where, he's got to make some adjustments. It's not easy for him, because Klay has been such a big part of this team for such a long time. But when you're not finishing games, that kind of tells you right now you're not the guy. You're not the guy, and it's not what Klay wants, and it may not be what happens the rest of the year. But you're seeing it a little bit more often now. Nights when he doesn't have it, they're going away from him.
Well, let's talk about someone they're going towards, and that is Brandon Podziemski, another double-double for the young rookie. Talk about somebody being honest. He is the person that will speak for his team. He's got that confidence. He's got that aggression. He pushes in transition. He looks for his teammates, but this is what he did tonight that was just a little bit different. He attacked and looked for his own opportunities. That was huge, being able to open things up for him being a threat.
Yeah, the thing about BP is that his shooting percentages aren't as good as we want them to be, but he finds ways to be effective in so many other areas that when he gets a couple of buckets, it's like a bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Because
like an added bonus,
Yeah, he's going to be rebounding every night.
Yes.
This guy's getting 9, 10, 11 rebounds almost every night, it seems, and you look at him and how small he is, you're like, how's he doing?
It's crazy.
He does it, it's effort. He just doesn't stop. He's relentless. He played 38 minutes tonight, and so that's team high. Been it a few times this year. He goes out there and he runs like he's on Duracell batteries. He just doesn't stop. You watch him, it's like, dude, slow down. But he doesn't. That's not in his DNA.
It's not.
He comes out there, and so tonight, comes out there and he gives them 15 points, 11 rebounds,
team high.
3 assists. So he just does stuff that helps the team be successful. And that's why if you're a coach or a teammate, you're like, let's rock with this dude.
Yeah, that Draymond Green comparison doesn't seem silly.
No,
because he's doing
a smaller version.
It's just a little smaller version, maybe a different color, a little different hair.
Well, yeah, that's
just a little bit, but absolutely a difference maker.
Yes,
quickly, and that's what the Warriors really needed, especially tonight. While they don't have exactly what they need, the whole team. So let's toss to him. I know he's at the podium. Let's see what he had to say about his performance.
I think coming into the game, last game we played them, Cam Thomas, I think, had 40, if I'm not mistaken. So big emphasis on, stopping him and Mikal. So, me and Jonathan took those two matchups head on. And I think collectively we did a good job of funneling everything to to Draymond. And for the most part, we were able to clean up their misses. And, I think Guy and Lester did a phenomenal job off the bench of, providing that spark that we kind of needed that lifted us in the second half.
In terms of the second half, I feel like shifted.
Yeah, I think in the first half we just caught the ball and we were just holding it, kind of confused on their aggressiveness and their switching, and so it was a lot of time we just caught the ball and hold it, and it was easier for them to just load up to the ball and play in the gaps as the athletic team that they are. And I think in the second half, all we needed was to get by one defender and make someone else rotate, and the dominoes fall from there. And I think we did that for the most part, and we did a great job of sharing the ball in the second half. Yeah, I mean, as soon as Guy got the rebound, kicked it out, I immediately kind of just looked for Steph because I know he's running around somewhere, and pitched it back to him and just kind of doing my thing. I just crashed the glass and jumped forward and got it and tried to go back up, and, he fouled me pretty hard. But, it's basketball at the end of the day. Stuff like that's going to happen. But, we were able to, close it out.
It's basketball at the end of the day, but it's football week, folks, for here in the Bay. 49ers, obviously, in the Super Bowl. Our week of Super Bowl coverage starts next right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. Coming up next, it's 49ers Live, and that will be immediately followed by 49ers Talk. So you don't want to go anywhere after Dubs Talk Live. We're going to be talking about a person we haven't seen in a while, the return of Moses Moody. Did he part seas?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? I love it. Don't go anywhere. It's Dubs Talk Live.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit us during our President's Day sale. Save up to $1,000 on the biggest brands, plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Okay. Let's get going, guys. There's a lot of good comments here. Great, gritty, grinded out win for the Dubs team.
Yeah,
That's
it really
exactly
was.
what it was.
I mean,
Gritty in Brooklyn.
They were down 6 at halftime, and in the second half, from the jump, you saw a different energy. And they brought it out, and they got into a tie really quickly, and then from there on out, it's like, okay, at some point here, we're going to break loose. And then when Nick Claxton went out of the game after, that flagrant foul too on BP.
With BP. Oh,
yeah,
my
when
gosh.
he went out, it was
I'm
like,
so happy
okay,
he's okay.
this buckets now. Let's go get our buckets.
And he had 7 blocks today.
Yeah.
He's number 1 in the league in blocks average per game. Or no, excuse me, 6th in the league in blocks per game, and then 9th in the league in blocks total. Like, this man does this. This is his bread and butter. And so the second the Warriors could see that and that he was out, take advantage of that, they did.
Yeah, I mean, and he's going to do that. I mean, he is that guy he's a good rim protector, but when he's not there, just take it to the hoop because who's going to stop you? And so the Warriors were making threes other than Steph. So if you can't make threes, try twos.
Right, exactly. Guy brought that energy. Yes, he did. Podziemski and Kuminga both with double-doubles. It's a great sign for the Warriors' future when you're looking at your rookies and your third years having the double-doubles, the productions.
Lester Quinones was 1 of 7 shooting. Didn't shoot the ball well. He got 7 rebounds.
And that's what you need.
I'm not shooting the ball well. What can I do to help?
Right. Exactly.
And he got 7 rebounds. And he's a guard. And he's not really big. So again, it's about guys that want to go out there and play their tails off. And when you see that, you reward that.
It's interesting. Someone says EAS said Klay is the only NBA player not allowed to have a bad shooting Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live. We're breaking down the 109-98 win the Warriors had against Brooklyn. And we're going to talk a little bit about someone coming back into the mix. It's been a while since we've seen. Moses Moody has been out for a while with an injury, obviously. And now he's been working back his conditioning, getting back into workouts with the team. And tonight was back on the floor doing what he needs to be doing, which is being long and athletic on the wing, attacking the basket just like here. And I thought, it wasn't a great big showing or anything, a welcome back kind of moment. No. But he gave you glimpses of what he was good for and what the Warriors needed before he went out. Yeah, he played 15 minutes, which is a pretty good segment for a guy who's been gone for almost 3 weeks now. Yeah. But, in that time, he got a couple of buckets, got a block, so he was generally effective. He was +5 over in his minutes, so he didn't hurt him. He helped him. Right, exactly. So, when you see a guy who comes off the bench and has been out of action for that long a period of time, if you can give you 15 good minutes, which he did, you take it every single time. Absolutely. And whenever you take a player coming back, that's what the Warriors need. A player coming back, getting healthy, especially with Wiggins going down. Now, Wiggins going down impacts something else that we've been talking about, and that is the Warriors defense. And if you looked at this game, you'd know Warriors defense was the thing that got it done. Yes, it was. Tonight, it was gritty. It was ridiculous. The Nets missed a few open shots. The one blemish in the second half, when the Warriors held them to 34% shooting in the second half, the one blemish, Royce O'Neal got 3 3-pointers in like about a minute and a half. Right. Other than that, they didn't do much of anything. When you hold a team to 34% shooting in the second half, and it's a close game at the halftime, you got a pretty good chance of winning that game. Yeah. And so, absolutely. To me, when they held them at 28.6, and I think in the third quarter, that's defense. And, if you've been around basketball long enough, you've played it, if you watch it, you know that if you play great defense, you always have a good chance to win the game. Mm-hmm. You give yourself a chance. Yep. And even if you don't shoot well, which, again, Steph shot well, but the rest of the team didn't shoot that great. Right. Even if you give away turnovers, 15 turnovers, gave them, 17 points off turnovers. Mm-hmm. If you have defense, you can win the game. And tonight they brought that. And again, that's something they've been looking for all year. Yep. It's gotten better lately. And tonight, it's what really won them the game, is they were really relentless on defense. And some of that's the energy of the young guys. Just being out there. Yeah. Agreed. And just to put a bow on that, they were able to keep the Brooklyn Nets to 21 points in the third. Mm-hmm. Also, you're looking at Cam Thomas, who came into this game averaging 20-plus points, had only 10 by the third quarter, only 4 at the half, and then Spencer Dinwiddie as well, 3 of 10. So top scorers here just kept in control. So that was huge. Cam Thomas was 4 of 21 shooting. And people thought Klay was having a rough night the other night when he was 4 of 19. He was 4 of 21 locked tonight. Up. Yeah, he did not hurt him at all. 0 of 6 from 3 to close the game. So absolutely crazy. Now let's talk about the Warriors really quickly before we go. 3-point shot. Because we talked about Steph was the only one. Steph was the only Warrior to get a 3 even one today. Yeah. So, and his wasn't even great. 4 of 11 wasn't wonderful for him. That's 36%. That's below his standard. That's definitely below. So what was it about what Brooklyn was doing that kept the Warriors from being able to get some rhythm? Well, I kept hearing on the broadcast, they were talking about that they thought there was something with the ball. That the ball was kind of weird, and that in the second half, they said they'll probably change basketballs because both teams are having issues with the basketball. Interesting. But what I saw tonight was the Warriors, again, missing some open shots. And, Klay's shot has been all over the place, and it just hasn't been good lately. And I heard Frank Isola say on the Nets broadcast that it's hard to watch. If you watch Klay for his career, to see him struggle like this with his shot, because his shot has been the most reliable component of his game. Yeah. And to see him shooting bricks, that's not Klay Thompson. No. He might miss shots, but there's some straight up bricks coming out. And it's like, that's unlike Klay. And so if he's not defending well and he's shooting bricks, he's not really helping you. And there's a difference between having a bad shooting night and having several nights. Yeah, in a row. And that's what's been going on for Klay, for sure. All right, well, they got the win in Brooklyn. Brooklyn just beat the Sixers. Demoralized them, badly. So the Warriors are about to go to Philly. We'll see on the other side of this break what they'll be able to do against them. Don't go anywhere. All righty. Okay, sounds good. All right. Moody never really had a shot, or Kuminga. Ooh, interesting.
Kuminga?
All
right.
Said
Wow.
Moody was doing great before he got injured. Very true. I think he was on a good roll there. Also, Moody has never had a real shot, haven't had a chance to get a real rhythm with, apparently, according to Kuminga. James Wynn, defense is a must. Effort wins from Alex. Agreed. Can you believe that people had the nerve to argue with that?
You can't win a game if you're not trying.
If you're not, anyways, let's continue. Great job, Alex, for knowing that. There was something that I thought was really interesting. The Nets had, speaking of three-point shooting, the Nets are number 1 in the league in corner threes. And thinking of the defense, 5 of their 13 threes tonight were in the corner. And I think that this is something that the Warriors, particularly their defensive rotations, they don't do a great job of shutting down the corners.
No, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
You see fewer open looks. I mean, Mikal Bridges made one corner three that was really tough. I'm like, he's going to shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The defense was right there in his face, and he made it. But Mikal Bridges is normally one of the better three-point shooters in the league from the corners.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He hardly ever shoots a three anywhere else.
Right.
In the corner, though, he will kill you.
Yeah, no. And I also wanted to talk about the fact that tonight was very different look Warriors. ISO ball.
Yeah.
ISO ball, not off the ball action, get the ball open, etc. I mean, Warriors ended with 24 assists.
On 43 baskets?
On 43, that's not what they do.
No.
They average closer to 29.
Yeah. Not good.
No, it's different.
Atypical.
All righty. Well, the road trip continues, and it's on to Philadelphia for the Warriors, thinking about what they need to do, knowing that Joel Embiid is out. They just played this team, but they didn't play them with Tyrese Maxey.
That's right.
And Tyrese Maxey
Baller.
is a bucket.
Yeah.
What do you think that, the Warriors, this new look Warriors, in just a quick turnaround on the road, what's going to be able to elevate them above
If they bring the
Sixers?
defense that they had in the second half tonight, they got to give themselves a real good chance. When they left to go on this road trip, I thought 3-2 road trip would be really good. And they're 2-1. So if they split this back-to-back with Philly and then Indiana the next night, that's a good trip. If they happen to sweep the back-to-back, that's a tremendous trip.
Oh, yeah.
So I think for the Warriors, though, remember Tyrese Maxey, he was out for a while with an ankle. And in his first game back, he put up 51. So he came back with a vengeance.
With 40-something in the first half.
Yeah, he went nuts.
Yeah.
So that means the Sixers are still a dangerous team without Joel, who's an MVP, obviously. Tobias Harris is a good player. You've got a good
Quiet
team over
superstar right there.
Yeah, you got a good team over there. So if they bring defense, though, they give themselves a real chance to win that game. It's going to be tough to go back-to-back, but if they get one of those, they'll take it.
Well, definitely a good thing for the Warriors to be heading into a new city with a win under their belt. Appreciate you guys tuning in on Dubs Talk Live. Way to start your week with us. Zena, Keita, Monte, Poole. It's been Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. Enjoy your rest, y'all. Good night.
We'll see y'all a little bit later.